Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is James Quintero. I represent the Texas Public Policy Foundation. I want to thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of this bill today. I think there's a few things to appreciate about it. First, it seeks to better align the consumption of public debt with the useful life of an asset. The harmonization of these two variables will promote sound decision-making and perhaps even protect taxpayers from unwise purchases. Second, it actually builds on 2019's HB 440, which I'm sure you remember, Chairman, because that bill established reasonable standards by which to govern general obligation debt in the economic life of an improvement. Under today's reform, a similar standard would be applied to other types of public securities beyond just the general obligation debt portion, to things like certificates of obligation and tax notes. I believe this would be a positive step. And then lastly, with this reform in place, I think it may help to gently tap the brakes on the overconsumption of public debt. As things stand today, local debt service outstanding is nearing $500 billion. That's a tremendous amount of debt to carry. And so for those reasons, I want to encourage the body to look favorably on this bill today.
Senator West.
James, and I know.
Yes, sir.
How school districts normally use this type of debt in order to purchase buses, computer pads, and things of that nature, which obviously the depreciation is not consistent with the term of debt. How do they then, if this becomes law, how do they then turn around and purchase those items?
It's a good question. So,
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So once a bond proposition is approved, school districts effectively have a portion of proceeds to utilize, and they go out and they issue debt through those proceeds in different chunks, different amounts, right? So what this standard would do is seek to establish what the useful life of an asset is, and then how, and then the term of a general obligation bond. So right now, under 2019's HB 440, the way it is structured is that real property or personal property is tied to the weighted average maturity of the issue of those bonds. So this would adjust that standard down slightly and apply it again to other public security types.
James, how does it readjust it slightly down? I'm curious.
That was going to be
Okay.
So right now, the standard in place is that the bonds used to finance these expenditures cannot exceed 120% of the reasonably expected weighted average economic life of the improvement or the product. So,
You know, I all due respect, and you may have the votes on here to do this, but I think you're hamstringing political subdivisions by this particular bill right here. And I don't know whether there's others that are here testifying for or against this particular bill.
You're looking at the entire testimony as we speak.
Okay. That's surprising. I won't prolong it, but I think you're hamstringing political subdivisions on this. And I'm transparency issue, and I'm all there with you.
yes, sir.
I think that we do damage to political subdivisions by doing this.
Any other questions for Senator Sparks or for James on this bill? I think it'd be good because we'll have some, just give us a quick example of what the difference in the maturity would be. That I think that would be a good thing. I understand what we're trying to do. You're trying to not overuse long 30-year GO bonds for what effectively are maintenance items. I believe that's really effectively, Senator Sparks, what you're trying to do here.
And again, this gets back to the different public security types, because it's not just GO bonds. It also would apply to certificates of obligation, which I think are increasingly used to purchase discretionary items. And so this would create a standard to say, what's the value and what's the debt, and let's align
James,
those
not to
two.
belabor it, how long, what's the longest CO that you know of?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not certain of the answer to that, because in the past, they were frequently refinanced before the full maturity of the bond. So it's hard to keep track of those items.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.